people, it's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy, Chrisean Rock, and welcome to another rendition, another shindig of Tilly for this podcast episode. I believe it's 62. How y'all living? And living swell. Feel free, be sure to hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this content with your friends, family, and followers. Let's get this podcast as well as this YouTube channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? If you want to continue supporting the channel, hit the join membership button. Remember, membership has its privileges, as well as you can send super stickers, super chat, or you can just hit the Cash App. The link is in the description. $ I'm Chrisean1. Whoever is the top donator will be the next week's stream sponsor. You hear me? Also, too early for this podcast is on Instagram. Instagram. The reason why I call Instagram Instagram, by the way, is because it satisfies the thirst of you thirsty mofos out there. But nevertheless, subscribe to my Instagram, Too Early for This Podcast. I'm going to have the link in the description, as well as the Cash App link in the description at the end of this live stream. Now, what we're going to be talking about on this fabulous live stream this Saturday, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Chrisean Rock, she welcomes a new baby, but she's also welcoming in some unwanted problems. We're going to address that in a few minutes. Joe Budden and his co-host Ish is back at it again. Apparently the Joe Budden show is in turmoil mode, not only with Ish, but with Melissa Ford. We will address that as well as YK Osiris. He did some foul, unspeakable stuff, but we're going to get into it a little bit later. So the first order of business today, we're going to be talking about Chrisean Rock. Chrisean Rock, if you've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. Chrisean Rock is, was a rapper. She's really more famous of being a reality star. She was linked up with Blueface. They have a very toxic, crazy in love type of relationship that they done monetized on the Zeus network. And they've been blowing up since the word go. Chrisean Rock got pregnant by Blueface, and months and months of Blueface basically saying the baby's not his. I've heard the girl is mine. Blueface was singing the baby's not his. Okay. There was on again, off again type of relationship. Very toxic. Basically, they were in relationship because of how famous they were, they were. I think their relationship elevated Chrisean Rock, particularly on social media. And Blueface, he put a lot of things on kibosh to make this relationship very profitable. Blueface is a rapper. To me, I don't think Blueface, even at the height of Blueface, I don't really consider Blueface, top 10, top 5 tier type of rapper. But I know, he had a couple of songs. But I think he put his career on pause as far as the rap game. And he noticed something that, I'm making more money, on this reality show type of shindig and be involved with Chrisean Rock. And, Chrisean Rock skyrocketed from this. But Blueface, was pretty much, it didn't really elevate Blueface, particularly in reality TV. We all know, particularly with reality TV and gossip and things like that, the Shade Room and things of that nature, the majority of that viewership, the majority of that subscriber base are women. All right. But when you talk about hip hop and music, even though women love music as well, but it's really fueled by men who stream these songs and just get entertained by these songs. And Blueface career was pretty much falling backwards, but Chrisean Rock's fame has skyrocketed. Now they have a baby, and her baby was born, I believe it was last week. I think it's a he. I think she named the baby Chris or Kristen or Christian, Kristen or whatever, Christopher, whatever, Rock. And she, particularly on social media, she had the baby in another state. Now, allegedly, Blueface was not involved with the birth of the baby. Now, she, had this televised on social media. Man, her Instagram, I mean, she was doing some record numbers of people actually witnessing her give birth to her first child. And now Blueface later on got an opportunity to see the child for himself. And Blueface is pretty much gone. I mean, doing his thing. Chrisean Rock is doing her thing. Blueface went back to his first baby mama. It seems like with their relationship, he's trying to elevate her in the entertainment field. She wants to be a rapper, and being linked up with Blueface, particularly in the music industry, can have some benefits. Okay. As far as Chrisean Rock goes, I mean, she doesn't, she's more famous than Blueface. And I'm pretty sure Chrisean Rock is going to have her own reality show on the Zeus Network or VH1 to the highest bidder. And like I said, her path, her career, particularly in entertainment, has skyrocketed. Okay. I imagining seeing Chrisean Rock opening up other doors and creating other waves. Would not surprise me none. A lot of people haven't spoken on this. It would not surprise me none if you see Chrisean Rock in some form of fashion, have her own podcast. She's definitely going to have her own reality show. She also going to be sponsoring a lot of products, endorsing a lot of products. Some of those products are going to have her name. She's going to get very rich and famous on her own. And, Blueface, he's still going to do his thing, but not on the largest level of a Chrisean Rock. But, who knows? He can probably get his first baby mama lit, and particularly in the music field. I have never listened to any of Blueface baby mama's first music, but this is the era of female rappers taking over with their with their sexual with the sexual tones and their lyrics and things. If Sexy Red can do it, if Ice Spice can do it, why not her? Okay, now I feel like more I think Ice Spice is talented. I don't think she's the best lyricist, but Ice Spice got some, she got some buzz in the music field. I think she's a little bit more talented, a little bit more seasonal than Sexy Red. All Sexy Red got is clout and Pound Town, the remix that was featured with Nicki Minaj. That's when she really blew up. And now her face is in the place. She's been in videos and pictures with Nicki Minaj, Drake, and she's getting famous that way. But as far, she's more famous because of she's a personality than her being a rapper. But that's neither here nor there. And there's a possibility that, who knows, maybe Blueface, lightning can strike twice with Blueface. He got Chrisean Rock lit and got her blowing up. Who knows? He may get his first baby mama elevated to that same stratosphere. Maybe, maybe not. But the thing about Blueface, and a lot of people don't give Blueface his flowers. A lot of people don't give Blueface his credit. Blueface has a way of anything negative or toxic going on in his life or in his lifestyle or with his situations. He monetized that stuff, and that stuff just a lot of people eat that stuff up, particularly on social media. Blueface, where Chrisean Rock beat up Blueface mom. Blueface beat up his own brother, I believe. Got into arguments with Chrisean Rock's family, and that stuff. The toxic type of stuff that's going on internally with Chrisean Rock's family as well as Blueface family. They're getting clout off of it. And what's worse, the family members are getting clout off of it as well. Blueface mom is getting some buzz, getting some clout out there, particularly on social media, talking about back in the day when she was in her prime. She had, she could have, gotten smashed by 50 Cent. All of these, Shaquille O'Neal, and she's telling stories about that back in the day when she was hot. She's getting somewhat of a buzz, promoting them stories. But she's really getting a lot of buzz because of her relationship with Chrisean Rock. Her and Chrisean Rock really don't see eye to eye. Now, recently, before Chrisean Rock had her child, Blueface mom was saying something ridiculous, talking about there's a possibility where Chrisean Rock and Blueface could be related. They could be cousins. Now, why she put this story out, I have no idea. Does Blueface mom really think in her Chrisean Rock and Blueface are related? And if you had some concerns about that, why you didn't mention this stuff earlier in their relationship? Why you're holding on and waiting to this? I think a lot of it is, if you just mention Chrisean Rock, you're going to get internationally known. You're going to blow up. Okay, I think that's part of it. I think another reason behind it is she just doesn't like Chrisean Rock. All right. Because Chrisean Rock wasn't a quote unquote woman for Blueface. Okay. Blueface mom has to realize your son's going to fall in love with whoever he falls in love with. Your son is going to be attached to women who he likes. All right. So, you can't excuse me, you can't live through your son's life. Okay. Your son has a life and you have a life. Okay. But nevertheless, she was spewing that story. It was a ridiculous story. Chrisean Rock is from Baltimore. Blueface is from California. I mean, it just didn't make a lot of sense. All right. So, Chrisean Rock, it done had her child, and all well, all good. She's also, sort of kind of beat her charges. She's gotten probation from the drug charges. That's good for Chrisean Rock. It seems like, somewhat, I wouldn't like, things are changing in Chrisean Rock's life. Okay. Seems like she's, getting control of a lot of stuff that she was out of control, and it looked like she was spiraling. And, I felt like Blueface and Chrisean Rock together really jeopardized their situations together. Now, entertainment wise, they got very popular. Entertainment wise, they made a lot of money. But being in a relationship, a normal, average, or a terrible relationship, chemically, it just did not fit, just did not work with Chrisean Rock and Blueface. And I feel like, them going their separate ways is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a great thing for Chrisean Rock, and it's a great thing for Blueface. Still, at the end of the day, they can co-parent. They do have responsibilities and obligations to the child. I think Blueface is going to be a great dad to his child with Chrisean Rock. I think Chrisean Rock is going to be a great mother with Blueface's son. And, life is going to go on. Who knows? Maybe having this child, Chrisean Rock will, slow it back some. Not go totally reckless and outrageous, going to parties and things of that nature. Sometimes maybe having a child settles the individuals. Okay, we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait and see on that. But Um, a lot of people don't give Blueface his props and credit. Blueface discovered Chrisean Rock. He saw something in Chrisean Rock no one else saw. Chrisean Rock was featured in I think Blueface had the Blue Club or the Blueface Club or whatever. Like, it's sort of like the Bad Girls Club. He'll have these random girls live in one house, well, one of his houses, and he would make content from that, have his own reality show with these girls, just put a camera in front of these girls. These girls start cussing one another, talking about one another, and then ultimately they're going to fight one another. Okay. And, Blueface felt the energy from Chrisean Rock and was, and noticed that Chrisean Rock, out of all the girls he had on that show, Chrisean Rock just outshined all those girls. Okay. And he got into a business relationship with her, but also a relationship with her. And if you look at Chrisean Rock, she started blowing up from there. Okay, then they came with their own reality show. I think it was called Crazy in Love. It's on the Zeus Network. People were actually subscribing to the Zeus Network just to watch that show. That show is the most popular show on the Zeus Network. Okay, so they're creating buzz. They're creating clout and things of that nature. But a lot of people don't give credit to Blueface because Blueface saw something in Chrisean Rock no one else saw. Okay. Secondly, I felt like Blueface in the beginning of their relationship, Blueface, just didn't feel for her that way and was just using Chrisean Rock. He knew that Chrisean Rock was his number one fan, that would do anything to prove her loyalty to Blueface, as far as fighting other girls, as fighting his family members. Chrisean Rock and Blueface mom got into a fight, but he saw that this girl had incredible loyalty for Blueface and was willing to do or say anything for him in his good name, as well as tatting his face on her body. Okay. And Blueface is looking at it like, okay, yeah, I got this girl hooked. She's crazy in love with me. The girl's just simply crazy. I can, make some money off of this. I can make some profit off this, and get my name in a buzz, particularly in the reality TV section. And as he continued to do business with Chrisean Rock, her star started getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Now, Chrisean Rock has no talent. Okay, let's just get that on out of the way. Okay, Chrisean Rock has zero talent. She has not even an ounce of talent in her body. But Chrisean Rock is the reason why Chrisean Rock is popular is because of her attitude. It's because of her behavior and her undying affection for the clout, as well as her loyalty. Okay, so Blueface saw that. He saw an opportunity. And in the beginning, Blueface thought he could control Chrisean Rock because Chrisean Rock was pretty much a nobody that was famous because she had Blueface on her side. Okay. And as the days, weeks, months, years went on, Chrisean Rock star was getting brighter. Chrisean Rock name was elevating. Okay. Blueface, would stop doing music, stop touring, stop being on features, stop making, he put his career on pause, his music career on pause, and then eventually he just put his music career on the shelf and never returned. Okay, because he's making more money with this reality TV type of situation than actually. We had 5 people in the building. Could you please do your boy a favor? Can you please do your boy a solid? Hit the like button, share this content with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Should have said that when I had the 5 people. I think I only got 3 right now, but hey, it is what it is. All right. So as Chrisean Rock elevated and star was getting brighter, Blueface particularly in the music scene, Blueface, pretty much retired from music. And he was gravitating more on this reality TV, this Shade Room, TMZ type of thing. And he's making money, making bank doing that. And at first, he had Chrisean Rock, had control over Chrisean Rock. But when Chrisean Rock started venturing out and started feeling herself and started saying, wait a minute, I'm the bigger star compared. People are, I have more subscribers than Blueface on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. My name is lit, particularly in reality TV. The Shade Room wants to interview me. The Shade Room do stories about me. Same thing with TMZ, Say Cheese, Vlad TV, all that. Okay. I'm the buzz right now. I'm the wave. I got the motion. Okay. Blueface was along for the ride. Okay. And which is, and if Chrisean Rock was thinking that way, I sort of believe it. But Blueface was still stuck in his way, saying, hey, look, he's still in his mind, he's looking at Chrisean Rock as that same girl he discovered years ago. Well, Chrisean Rock isn't that same girl no more. Okay. Chrisean Rock understands that she's the wave, she's got the motion. You're only getting rich and famous because of what she says and what she does on social media and on reality TV. You're just along for the ride. All right. So at one point, Blueface did have control of the situation. Then it went out of control. We done heard the stories of them arguing and fighting. Blueface beat up Chrisean Rock. Chrisean Rock beat up Blueface. There's a video floating around where Chrisean Rock went upside the head of Blueface with a vodka bottle. Left. It shouldn't be funny, but it sort of kind of is funny. All right. Left glass chips on the side of his head, and she's trying to vacuum the glass chips. He's got blood, glass chips, and brain cells leaking from his head, and Chrisean Rock is using a vacuum cleaner to suck the stuff out, okay, instead of taking the man to the hospital. This man has CTE. This man has concussion. He should be put in place in concussion protocol. All right. So, but what Blueface was going to do in that moment. I think Blueface came to the reality is, and the light came on with Blueface is, okay, what I'm going to do? I can't go back to the music. The music pretty much left me. All right. I pretty much abandoned the music. I don't have no love for the music scene no more. I'm making my money. I'm making my dollars doing reality TV and having these moments that's coming from reality TV. I'm getting famous from that. I'm getting hellified popular. I'm making crazy bank, crazy money by giving my audience, giving my fan base, giving the fans of reality TV a glimpse of my life, of what I go through. And this stuff is registered as me getting popular off of it. I'm no longer, Blueface pretty much left Blueface the rapper. Now he's Blueface the TV personality. He's Blueface in reality TV. Okay. But it is what it is. So basically, if you look at it right now, Chrisean Rock, realized that she doesn't need Blueface no more like she used to back in the day. Blueface had her was linked up arm to arm with Chrisean Rock. Chrisean Rock was a nobody years ago. Blueface opened the door for her to get famous, to make a lot of money, to get hellified clout and subscribers. And now she doesn't need Blueface. She never needed Blueface. Okay. And Blueface is now coming into the realization you can't you can't strings on this monster. You created this monster, and now this monster is out on its own, and there's nothing you can do or nothing you can say to reel this monster back. Okay. It started off as a snowballer at the top of the hill. Now it's done turned into an avalanche. You can't undo this. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, sort of say. So, I think Blueface came to the realization of he's not going to be the dominant person in the relationship. He's not going to be able to control this relationship. Chrisean Rock is not going to listen to Blueface because in Chrisean Rock's eyes, Blueface is a failure. Blueface needs Chrisean Rock more so than Chrisean Rock needs him. Even the baby have more followers on Instagram than Blueface. Not the baby, the rapper. Chrisean Rock's first child, has an Instagram page, an Instagram account, and that child has more followers than Blueface. All right. So now when you look at Blueface, Blueface is now promoting his first baby mama. He's trying to strike lightning in a bottle twice, hoping and praying that this may lead into another Chrisean Rock type moment where she's in the music scene. He probably got her out touring, doing concerts. Maybe she can get lit by joining link to link with a Nicki Minaj or an Ice Spice. That's wishful thinking. Maybe a Sexy Red, maybe a Sukihana, whatever. He's looking at it as she can collaborate with another female rapper that's lit out here, or maybe link up with whoever, and maybe this rap career can lead and open doors, possibly as far as them maybe having their own reality show. His first baby mama in Blueface. All right. Maybe there's a deal down the road where Blueface and his baby mama can have their own reality show on VH1 or the Zeus Network or whatever. All right. And hopefully he thinks he can do it again. Hold on one second. And that's a lot of wishful thinking. But I mean, Blueface has already proven he did it once with Chrisean Rock. And, maybe Blueface is thinking to himself, if I can do it to a nobody like Chrisean Rock, I can, and make her into an international star on social media, I could probably do the same thing with his first baby mama. So we'll just have to wait and see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, Chrisean Rock is dealing with a lot of stuff, dealing with a lot of problems, even though they're not together. Okay. Her and Blueface are in the news. Blueface wants full custody of the child. Chrisean Rock doesn't want Blueface to have that. So when they take their legal battles to court, we all know how this is going to probably manifest as far as them getting popular and making money from that point of view. And who knows, they may have a special between the two going into court and trying to figure it out, and co-parenting. They're subconsciously or consciously, they're involving their first child into this reality TV type of world. Okay. But yeah, so that's all I got for that story. Guys, hit the like button, the subscription bell. We got 3 people in the building with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Moving on, we're going to transition from Chrisean Rock and Blueface welcoming their new baby boy and welcoming in more problems with each other. And we're going to shift into Joe Budden versus his co-host. Okay, so been living under a rock. I'm gonna do a real quick retrospect. Joe Budden. It just seems like Joe Budden has gotten out and under from the Rory and Mal controversy. Rory and Mal, they're doing their thing. They're having their own podcast, and they're not really talking about each other. Even though I think it was 3-4 months ago, Mal was talking about Joe Budden on another podcast. And Joe Budden talked about their setup and things of that nature. Anywho, it seems like they have moved on. Rory and Mal is doing their thing. Joe Budden is doing his thing. He brought Queen's Flip in the building. Ice and Ish. He was friends of Ice and Ish. Had a longer relationship with Ice and Ish than Rory and Mal. And he also got Melissa Ford. So, and it seems like the Joe Budden podcast is blowing up. Okay. It's got to be top 5 as one of the most entertaining podcasts out there. I'm not a Joe Rogan fan. Okay. And I know Joe Rogan has fans, but to me, I would listen to Joe Budden over Joe Rogan, but that's just, my opinion. All right. But anywho, they're blowing up. They're creating their own wave over there. And, it seems like there's a lot of friction going on with that podcast. First and foremost, a lot of people didn't think the Melissa Ford angle was going to work for Joe Budden. Because a lot of people felt like Melissa Ford is not a very interesting person. She's just a vixen back in the day. She used to star in music videos. She has an OnlyFans, but she's not really connected in the entertainment field or the music field or even the podcast community. And a lot of people felt like they just put Melissa Ford there because she's just beautiful. All right, but she does have a relationship with Joe Budden. I think Joe Budden smashed Melissa Ford back in the day, and they're not really talking about it. And it just seemed like the chemistry was good with them too. Joe Budden thought to bring her over to the Joe Budden podcast along with Ice and Ish. He has a great relationship with Queen's Flip, and ever since he added all of these different personalities on the podcast, a lot of people were talking about, it's too many people on the podcast. There's too many mics and this, that, and the third. And, people were talking bad about saying it wasn't going to work. It's one of the most highest rated podcasts in the podcast industry. Okay. And that's on top of the podcast. It's particularly in podcasting, it's an oversaturated market. And speaking of podcasts, let me put a shameless plug out there. Go check out, subscribe to I'm Chris the Don One podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast indulgement from. Just look me up, all right? But anywho, back to Joe Budden. It seems like life is good with their ratings. They're more popular today than they ever was popular with Rory and Mal. But it seems like along the way, there have been some incidents with the Joe Budden podcast. It seems like Joe Budden and Melissa Ford had issues with one another. I don't know if Melissa Ford had internal beef with Joe Budden, or maybe she just had internal issues with the flow of the podcast. Because if you actually watch or listen to the podcast, Melissa Ford, she really don't ingrace herself in the topics. The only way they get any type of energy from Melissa Ford, if they ask Melissa Ford a question about a certain topic or just something random, and then Melissa Ford interjects. Okay. But anywho, it seems like there's some friction between Melissa Ford and Joe Budden. There was somewhat friction between her and Ish. And in the beginning, when Queen Flip was added, it seems like there was kind of friction between him and Melissa Ford, but I think that stuff has calmed down, cooled down a little bit. You know, Queen's Flip can be a loose cannon at times, but I feel like at the end of the day, if you are in anything that's Queen Flip related, it's going to be good for your podcast. It's going to be good for your live stream. It's going to be good and very beneficial to your YouTube channel. But Queen Flip has, his own knack. Uh he doesn't necessarily follow protocol. He pretty much just does his own thing. Okay. And a lot of times when he do his own thing, it's very funny, it's very entertaining. And other times it can sometimes be an issue. And I think that's the issue that Melissa Ford had with Queen Flip, because Queen Flip wasn't very conventional, particularly with the episodes and, the spontaneous type of energy. Melissa Ford wasn't riding on it, and she had issues. I think that was the working relationship dynamic, why she had issues with Queen Flip, but now it's a better relationship. Okay. Because, after a couple of months working with him, now what Queen Flip is. All right. But I do feel like there is some friction between the cast members, and there was friction between her and Joe Budden. Now, if you listen to Joe Budden, he felt like Melissa Ford should have took some time off, because he called it a scheduled rest day. Like Melissa Ford needs to recharge her batteries. She wasn't in a good place. And I don't know Melissa Ford from a can of paint. I don't even know Joe Budden from a can of paint. But it sounded like she just needed some time off. Melissa Ford said that, she felt like she was pushed to take the time off. She really didn't want to take no time off. And, when you're dealing with alphas, sometimes when you're going through stuff, the best way to go through the stuff is just to be very productive with your life, continue to go to work. And you're thinking, just going to work every day is going to take you away from the internal battles that you have at home or wherever. And sometimes people bring their problems to the workplace, and it's just not a good mixture. And like I said, I don't know what Melissa Ford says off the camera, but it just seems like Joe Budden said, you know what, won't you just take some time off? And Melissa Ford wasn't feeling it. And I still don't think Melissa Ford was feeling it, but nevertheless, Melissa Ford just, rolled along with it. All right. She didn't want to be a thorn in Joe Budden's backside, because, Joe Budden is different. Okay. Let's put it that way. All right. So, they talked about that, and she felt like that should have been handled differently. Joe Budden feels like it was handled the way it was handled. Ford is moving on, but she still thinks about that a lot. Okay. And it kind of put a struggle in their relationship. Okay. But their working relationship. I better say working relationship. All right. And, it seems like Ice, out of everyone on there, Ice knows that Joe Budden, and I feel this to an extent, you don't know what type of Joe Budden you're going to get each and every day. Okay. Because Joe Budden has so many different personalities about him. You might get a very positive Joe Budden. You may get a very negative Joe Budden. You may get a Joe Budden that's to the left field. You may get a Joe Budden that goes all the way to the right field. Each day, you're getting a different Joe Budden. The 2 days don't go together often. All right. And it seems like Ice understands that, and he just rolls along with it. I think Parks, being, working with Joe Budden this long, he sort of rolls along with it. I think Queen's Flip, he rolls along with it, but Queen's Flip is like, it's not going to affect me as being extraordinary on the Joe Budden podcast. Okay. So he doesn't put a lot of his feelings into it. Queen's Flip just goes in, do Queen's Flip, and then he's out of there. Okay. But I feel like it affects Melissa Ford, and it also affects Ish. Okay. And they have been Joe Budden and Ish have been battling back and forth on every single episode. And this episode I'm about to talk about, this happened like a couple of months back. It seems like ex-girlfriends was the topic, and Ish told a story that Joe Budden was messing around with one of his ex-girlfriends, and they smashed. And it seems like Ish did not let that go. Did not let this. It's obvious Ish had feelings for this girl, even though Ish is, I think he's married or got a girlfriend or whatever. But you can clearly tell he just didn't just let that go. Obviously, he has energy and feelings about that incident, and he felt like he didn't get an opportunity to talk about these issues that he had, but he felt like that was a violation, that Joe Budden shouldn't smashed his ex-girlfriend. But on retrospect, Joe Budden had a girlfriend allegedly, and Ish smashed her. Okay, so it seems like Ish and Joe Budden, they have I mean, I say this, if I think some things are off limits. Dating someone's family member, like you have a best friend and you're dating your best friend's sister. I think that's off limits. That's just my opinion. I think it's off limits when you are fooling around with your best friend's ex, your best friend's ex-wife. I just feel like some things are off limits. Okay, that's just how I roll. Okay, I don't mess around with people's my friends' exes or my friends' moms or my friends' sisters. I feel like there's levels to this, and I feel like there are some doors that don't need to be open. All right. And I just feel, I feel like that's how I handle things. Now, I don't care. Y'all smash anybody. You'll smash your best friend's wife. You'll smash your best friend's mama. You'll smash your best friend's ex-wife. And if that's how you roll, that's how you roll. But remember, if you're doing that, then it's okay when someone else do it to you, and you shouldn't have no issue with it. Okay. But anyway, it seemed like Ish and Joe Budden both had issues on that situation, and they were arguing. It got very loud. It was not controlled. Okay. I don't care what Joe Budden and Ish says. They were harboring a lot of ill will and feelings towards one another, particularly in that timeline, and nothing has been settled. It's like, they never had a conversation about that back in the day. They just sort of went their merry ways, but they were internally holding this. Okay. And when it was discussed on this episode, Joe Budden blew up about it. Ish blew up about it. Okay. So that still, that's an issue that still has not been addressed nor handled. It just seems like they just, put that to the side and they continue with the podcast, the benefit of the, continuing with the podcast. Now, Ish has been talking about the podcast, his future on the Joe Budden and the podcast in general, because he was talking about his contract. And the language in his contract says that Ish can't quit the podcast. The only way he can be relieved of his duties of the podcast if Joe Budden fires him. Now, he has an issue with it. And it's also affecting his career in construction. It seems like he has a construction business and it's keeping him away from his other job. I don't know how much Ish makes on the Joe Budden podcast. I don't know how much money Ish has. Is there somehow, some way Ish can have someone worry about his construction business while he continue his contract with Joe Budden? I don't know Ish financial capability or if Ish wants to do that. But when you read the article and when you listen to Ish in this recent podcast, it seemed like Ish is, he's looking at this podcast lane as, he did it because he was helping Joe Budden out because of the departures of Rory and Mal. And he just thought that he was just going to be on a couple of shows until Joe Budden get his, get it situated and maybe find some new hosts. And he was going to go back to the construction thing. But I think Ish started getting mad popular doing the Joe Budden show. And Joe Budden saw this, and the viewership saw this, and the fans saw this. All right. And it was a moment in time where the fans are going, Rory and Mal, who? You should just keep icing Ish. Okay. And Ish was looking at it as a temporary thing that he was going to do. Now this is permanent. Okay. And Ish, to me, he comes off as a person that's not very invested in podcasting or entertainment or anything like that. Ish is like a 9-to-5 blue collar guy. He rather live that life versus doing the podcast. Okay. And Ish also talks about traveling to the podcast, the hours of the podcast. It just causes, situations. I'm not saying it's causing situations with his home life, but it seemed like Ish construction Ish than just doing this podcast. All right. And Ish was okay with it, but he thought this was just going to be a temporary thing. And then Joe Budden was going to add people. And then once Joe Budden add those people, he was just going to simply go back to his 9-to-5. Okay. And when you listen to the podcast, you could tell from their stories that Ish lives a different lifestyle than Joe Budden, than Melissa Ford, than Queen's Flip. Okay. And he doesn't, do these nightclub events, and he doesn't do these promotional tours. He just not built for the entertainment lifestyle. Okay. Because he was never part of this entertainment lifestyle. The only way he was connected to this lifestyle is because of his relationship with Joe Budden. All right. And Ish is having a bad case of buyer's remorse. He wants to just go back to his normal 9-to-5 life. I think in a perfect world, Ish would like to do that. He doesn't want to do any other podcasting or anything like that. All right. And it's causing friction between him and Joe Budden, because Joe Budden knows where his butter is bred. The combination of people that he has right now. The Joe Budden podcast has never been to this stratosphere, even with Rory and Mal. It's hugely popular. And if it continues this way, Joe Budden will have command of maybe Apple doing an exclusive deal with Joe Budden, have the Joe Budden podcast exclusively to Apple. There's a possibility that Spotify may resurface and do an exclusive deal with Joe Budden. He might get those cash app promotion deals, the Patreon, the special deals for Patreon, Rumble. You know, they're this new you know, concept. Everyone seemed to go to Rumble. You know, there was talk of a streamer making some huge bread on Rumble. Could you imagine Joe Budden on Rumble? Okay. I think down the road, Joe Budden seeing this and he's seeing the potential, like, wait, well, you know, when I'm out and under from my obligations with the people that I'm signed to now, and I become a free agent, and this show still remains popular, man, I can ink some big time deals. And he knows where his butter is breaded, or his bread is buttered, and Ice and Ish has to be along for that ride. Melissa Ford has to be along for that ride. Queen's Flip has to be along for that ride. Now, out of all the people that I mentioned, you can take one person out and add another person in, and it's business as usual. And I feel like the one where you can just take them out and they replace them with someone else and it's still business as usual is Melissa Ford. Because Melissa Ford really has no she's more like a moderator, even though she doesn't segue from topic to topic. She just sort of there, and it just provides entertainment for the guys when they want to ask her crazy questions or questions about the topics and things of that nature. She really doesn't take no command of any of the topics of the Joe Budden podcast. And you know, I know a lot of people are going to get upset with what I'm about to say. Melissa Ford has no range, particularly when it comes to interviewing, particularly when it comes to making the topics more intriguing, particularly interjecting with certain topics. She just doesn't have that type of range, right? And I can see, you know, if anybody going to be off of the Joe Budden, that's not valuable to the Joe Budden podcast. And I think she's valuable as, I mean, she looks good. She looks beautiful. And she does have a relationship with Joe Budden, you know, and it seems like her and Queen's Flip has kissed and made up. It seems like she works very well with Ice and Ish, but it would not hurt the Joe Budden podcast if she no longer wants to do it or she gets fired and they replace her with another woman. And you just replace Melissa Ford with anybody, and the Joe Budden podcast will continue. You may replace her with someone that's better, that has range, that can interject with certain topics. Okay, and you know, you might, you know, replace Melissa Ford and add someone else there. Okay, you know, you know, but you know, it is what it is. So, you know, it just seems like Ish has issues with this celebrity life. And in a perfect world, Ish would just want to go back to his 9-to-5 blue collar, working at the construction gig. He was loving that gig. And he just thought, you know, Joe Budden was his friend saying, hey, look, I'm in a bad place. I'm in a bad situation. Roy and Maul left me. You know, you know how it works for me. I got to feed off of other people. Hey, how about you, Ice and Ish? How about you guys do it? And maybe I can work something out and add more guests. And who knows, maybe down the road, y'all can just go back doing what y'all were doing. And they said, fine, cool. And as they were signing the contracts, they was thinking in retrospect, well, we're not going to be on this show much longer. You know, nobody ain't, you know, really feeling for us. You know, we're not that good. But when that first show started, it just seems like the fans love Ice and Ish. Okay. Now, I will say this. Ish, you should have read your contract. Okay. And that's a problem with us as African Americans. Okay. I feel like, you know, we as African Americans need to have a higher standard for ourselves. You know, we have heard plenty of stories, tragic stories of entertainers signing contracts. They're not reading the contract, and then everything's all good in the hood until, you know, you start noticing that you're not making a lot of money on this contract, or this contract is not very profitable for you, or XYZ type person, they got a better contract than you. Now you want to go and tear this contract up, and or just get out of this contract, and you didn't read the language in the contract of how many years the contract has, how much total control you have in the contract, this, that, and the third, and now you stuck like Chuck with the contract. And it kind of reminds me of I did a video. I did a video on this a couple of days ago, and it was P. Diddy, Sean Combs. He thought Sean Combs. Hold on one second. Sean Combs. He gave the publishing rights back to a lot of bad boy artists like 112, Total, Faith Evans, Notorious B.I.G. and his estate. A lot of artists that were on Bad Boy that didn't have their publishing nor their masters. Mark Curry talked about this in a Instagram live stream, and he basically said that it's great that he's giving us our publishing, but the publishing rights are worthless. You're not going to make no money from the publishing. Okay, now I do sort of co-sign to what Mark Curry's saying. However, it depends on the artist. A lot of meat on the bone with Notorious B.I.G. with his publishing. I think his estate is going to make some money and make some deals, having his name and likeness and his music featured in movies and commercials and television shows. The list goes on. I feel like the same thing could be for Faith Evans, to a lesser extent 112 and Total, but for artists such as and the Locks, but artists such as Mark Curry, who only been on a couple of songs, it's not going to be a hill of beans for him. All right. And he talked about how, he wanted P. Diddy to just give him the money and keep the publishing. And P. Diddy didn't want to do that because his publishing, like Mark Curry says, is worthless. There's no real value of owning your publishing. That's why you got it in the first place. All right. And he talked about how bad it was and this, that, and the third. And I said this in the video, when he was younger and he wanted all his money up front so he can get the cars and the jewelry and the clothes and the women. When he wanted his money up front, he had to sell away his publishing as well as his masters. And in the beginning, that was a good deal for Mark Curry. Okay. But now if you look at Mark Curry today, he's much older. Okay. He's much more settled. He has a family. And Mark Curry should have looked at his future when he was younger instead of looking at his future when he's older. Okay. And yeah, it's a bad deal, but you signed that bad deal. You can't get upset at Sean Diddy Combs because he saw an opportunity. Look, I'm going to give you your money up front, but I need your masters and your publishing. And it was up to you to either take it or not take it. No one stuck a gun to your head and told you you're going to sign this contract. Okay. But, it is what it is. And I feel like, it feels like from Ish perspective, he's having buyer's remorse with this contract. And I don't think this is going to be resolved anytime soon. And there's going to be friction between him and Joe Budden because I think he got some underground hostility for Joe Budden because of the contract. And maybe Joe Budden told him one thing, but when he signed the contract don't dictate what he told Ish. But like, once again, Ish, you're a grown man. You said you should have read that contract through and through, got you a lawyer, whatever. I don't know if he did have a lawyer. Maybe he had a lawyer. Maybe the lawyer wasn't good enough. And looked at the contract and said, okay, this contract's okay, but there should be some language in the contract where I can just get out from this contract if I'm not feeling it. But, that's part of negotiations. And, it is what it is. So I don't think Joe Budden and Ish is going to resolve their situation anytime soon. All right. So moving on. We had 3 people in the building at one point. Guys, do your boy a favor, do your boy a solid. Hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Share this content with your friends, family, and followers. Let's get this YouTube channel and this live stream lit in the YouTube algorithm. You hear me? Okay, but moving on. Let's see if y'all can hear me, man. I've been on for a whole hour. I didn't even test the sound. Okay, yeah, y'all can hear me. Ooh, that would have been a bad thing, yo. If you couldn't hear the sound, if I was on mute for this whole hour, that would be a bad thing. All right. So moving on from the Joe Budden and YK Osiris. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not a fan of him, but his music, I guess, is just not popular enough from my perspective, for me to tell you my favorite YK Osiris songs. All right. And I know he's popular, particularly on social media. I know he's a singer / rapper. I know he's famous and things of that nature. He was in the news a couple of months back where he forced himself on Sukiana and kissed her, and she did not want him to do that. Now, he did later on apologize, but, we accepted his apology, and no one, made excuses for him. He didn't make excuses for himself. And we just said, okay, he understands he did something wrong. He apologized. Sukiana accepted his apology. Let's just turn the page, just chalk it up to, making, you can learn from your mistakes. And he's a young guy. And as long as you can learn from your mistakes so you won't make any other mistakes, everything's all good with YK Osiris. Okay. So YK Osiris has been in the news for the past 3 or 4 days. Now, allegedly, YK Osiris got a barber to cut his hair. And once he got the services rendered where the barber came in and cut his hair, YK Osiris did not pay this barber, and he just skipped town on the barber. And, in YK Osiris' mind, he was probably thinking, okay, this barber is a nobody. He ain't got no juice on social media. Personally, before we get into this story, personally, I don't care how much juice someone has on social media. That doesn't matter. If someone provides a service for me and I am satisfied with my service, even if I wasn't satisfied with my service, I still feel like I'm obligated to pay the individual. Okay. Now, like, let's just say hypothetically, this barber messed up YK Osiris's head. All right. I'm pretty sure the barber would just say, okay, I messed up your head, your head. Sorry about that. You don't owe me nothing. And now it's up to YK Osiris to either just say, okay, yeah, you messed up my hair, as long as I have to pay you, I'm good with it. Or YK Osiris, just go to social media and say, don't go to this barber that messed up my head, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And now he's obligated to do whatever. All right. But however, if someone is providing a service for me and I'm satisfied, if I'm satisfied, somewhat satisfied, I'm as a consumer, is going to pay for these services. All right. Never in my life I have ever thought of getting something done and then skipping on the person and don't pay for it. I have never done that before in my life. And I've heard this with barbers, how uh, customers will come in the barbershop, they'll get their hair cut, and the barber done spent a whole hour on this fool's head. And he let the fool look at the mirror. He likes the haircut. And as soon as the barber turns, he runs out and don't pay the barber. Now, there have been pranks like that when they're kind of funny, but the guy did pay the barber. And there have been videos of people trying to skip on a barber, only to still end up paying and looking bad on social media. There was one video that went viral of this woman that was going to buy a wig from this weave shop, and instead of paying for it, she tries to walk out with the weave, but luckily the store owner confronted her and got her wig back. Okay, I just think that is so sad, where you're willing to steal or willing to not pay for a service that you were satisfied in. Okay. And even more sadder, and I don't want to get on no no Martin Luther King or Malcolm King soapbox. I think it's even more sadder than we stealing from our own kind. Okay. We'll take a chance and steal on our own kind. But when it comes to going to these bigger establishments like Walmart or Target, whatever, we'll think twice. Now there's some that would steal from the big corporations, but to normal folks, they'll think twice before they try to run off and get something for nothing. Okay. But when it comes to these smaller businesses like the barber shops and beauty salons and things of that nature, we'll take a chance and just skip on a beautician or a barber and not pay for our service. Okay. But it's neither here nor there. So YK Osiris skipped on this barber. This barber clowned him on social media, and a lot to the effect of it got huge buzz. Okay. A lot of people came to the aid of the barber and paid for the haircut, sending $100 to the barber's cash app. Kevin Gates did that. And it got so, YK Osiris got drugged through the mud on social media so bad that he DM'd the barber and tried to basically said it's the barber's fault. All right. Saying that, man, why you want to air everything on social media? Why you got that video out and this, that, and the third? Take the video down. I paid you, but it was much later you paid him after you got this buzz. After this guy got this buzz and throwing your business out there, and people are shaming you on social media. And what YK Osiris did not understand, and I still don't think he understands, okay, that your reputation speaks more about you than what anyone says about you or what you say about you. Your reputation matters, all right? And your credibility matters as well. And I don't care if you're a young dude, you're an old dude, you're a middle-aged dude, whatever. Your reputation, your credibility speaks in volumes about you. And it's bad enough you have the reputation of acting very immature and childish, and you're forcing a kiss on a woman, even though Sukiana doesn't act like a woman, but that's neither here nor there. It's bad enough you got that rumbling around and people still haven't forgot about that, but people are still going to give you an opportunity to redeem yourself and give you a second chance. It's bad enough you got that floating around. Now you got floating around as a person that don't want to pay their debts. Even a worse reputation killer than anything else. And, this on the grand scale of things, now on a smaller level, it really doesn't affect YK Osiris, but we're in the cancel culture generation. Okay, we're that era is not over with. Okay, people want to cancel people for all types of reasons. Okay, there's a community of people that is waiting for someone to say or do some foul stuff, and they're quick to go to social media or go to social media and talk about them. All right. And YK Osiris, a lot of people went to social media and aired out this situation, and it made him look bad. It made him look sad. It made him look stupid. All right. To the point where he's trying to get rid of it by telling the barber to take the video down. Now, the barber has every right to keep that video up. It doesn't matter if you paid for the services. You paid for the services late. Okay. It doesn't matter if he's getting donations because of you didn't pay for the haircut. All right. He still has the right to keep that video up. Now, YK Osiris is talking out of the side of his mouth, talking about he's going to get the video taken down. All right. Whatever. The damage has been done. People have already copied and pasted this video, and this video is on several other outlets. It's on the Say Cheese, the Shade Room, TMZ, everybody. It's on all of these websites. So it's in social media. And just because this barber take this video down, if he feels sorry enough to take the video down, still people are still going to talk about this situation. And this situation does not make you look good by any stretch of the imagination. And, shame on you, man. Shame on you. I mean, to skip on a barber just to do it, just because you're famous and he's not, and you're gonna skip because of that. I mean, he gave you a service. He cut your hair. You liked the haircut, and you felt like it was a good idea to just skip town on this guy. All right. So YK Osiris deserves everything coming from this. Okay, he deserves everything and much, much more. He didn't learn from his mistake with the incident with Sukiana. He's still continuing to make mistakes. I know there's going to be fans of his family members are going to say, well, he's young, and when you're young, you do stupid things. Okay, we have all been there and done that, but I have never ran off on someone when they rendered a service for me. Okay. And barbers are the lifeblood of the community. I mean, I feel like barbers and hairstylists, people always talk about, it takes too long. It takes too long to get your hair cut. It takes too long to get your hair did. And the outrageous prices barbers and the beauty salons are doing nowadays. Y'all people have to understand the cost of living has gone up. So if everything else is going up, I don't understand why y'all think barbershops and beauty salons should underbid for their services. All right. But that's neither here nor there. Still, that's a bad look for YK Osiris. And that's, I think the best thing for him to do is, instead of going back and forth with this barber, he just needs to keep it pushing and keep it moving. Okay. And maybe if he keeps doing a lot of good things, first and foremost, he should apologize for this situation and just continue to work on yourself and just continue to find yourself in good situations or have some good news concerning about you, and just keep it pushing and keep it moving on. You continuing to argue with this barber serves no purpose for you. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got for all of the topics. Normally I take this part of comments. No one commented, but it's all good in the hood. I mean, it's no big deal. We'll just talk about some news and notes. I did a video a couple of days ago, and I told y'all the situation with Sean Diddy Combs basically allowing people to, his artists to get their publishing back, and we talked about all that. There's a new movie that has Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones in it. I think it's for Netflix. I forgot the name of it. I saw the trailer a couple of days ago. So go check that out. The Equalizer 3 has dropped. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of people are not feeling Equalizer 3. There are some people out there saying they did not like Equalizer 3. I'm still going to watch it regardless. This happened Friday night, and it happened while I was utilizing this. But Cash App had a widespread, you know, outage, and it left the it left the app useless. You couldn't pull any money from one situation to your Cash App. It was just acting weird. But I think as of today, it's back up and running. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but yeah, I went through that exact same thing, and I'm going like, man, what is going on? So, Charter Spectrum customers can watch ESPN and Disney. A Spectrum, on the other hand, is still negotiating a deal with Disney and ESPN. So if you have Spectrum, it's still, it's still not. There's a blackout. There's a there's a disruption with any Disney channels on that network. Okay, so that 70 star Danny Masterson was sentenced. I think hold up. Danny Masterson, best known as the co-star from the 70s show, went to court. He was convicted of the R word. He was hit with 30 years to life sentence for SA, 2 women at his Hollywood Hills home 2 decades ago. And this was big news like 15 years ago. And I felt like when COVID hit, it delayed a lot of courts like this, particularly these big sentences. To me, I didn't understand why he took this to court. I have no idea why he took this to court. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has his reasons, but to me, I would have just tried to work a deal. 30 years to life. He'll be like 60 something before he goes, for parole, if he even makes it that far. Because in prison, let me tell you something. In prison, there are 2 types of people in the world that prisoners despise the most. Well, 3. Former correctional guards who find themselves in prison on the wrong side. Child M's, and the R word. Okay. Prisoners dislike those three. Now, out of those three, they would probably allow a correctional guard to fulfill their sentence, even though they despise him. But when it comes to these child M's and these R words, some of them get deleted in prison. All right. Some of them don't even make their sentence. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be put in general population, and they're just going to be watching him. He's going to be in protective custody for his whole bid. Okay. So I don't know why he took it to court. I don't know why he thought he could fight it, but it is what it is. Okay. In other news, 2K came out, 2K24. I'm gonna give you my thoughts and review. If you played NBA 2K23, 2K23 is exactly like 2K24. Now, there is a difference depending on which version you get. You get the basic version, then you get a slightly better version than the basic version, and then you get the version that's got all the bells and whistles. I think the basic version is 70. The version beyond that, I think it's like almost close to $100. And I think the one with all the bells and whistles is like $140. Okay. But it looks the same to me. All right. But hey, it is what it is. People invest a lot of money building their player up. So, it is what it is. All right. Lotto was in the news. Lotto was in the news for all the wrong reasons. Basically, Lotto made fun of Corey LeRae's father. Damn, I keep forgetting his name. Benzino. She said that her father, Lotto said Benzino has no neck and showed a picture of him. I guess he was profiling in front of the camera or in the mirror or something. And it appears that he had no neck. And it seems like Lotto is having issues with all the popular female rappers. Now, Corey LeRae, she's popular, but she really is just remixing hits that are back in the day, like Busta Rhymes, hits in the back of the day. But she also popular because that TikTok era, the 15 seconds or less. A lot of her songs go viral on TikTok, and I think she was thinking to herself, well, if I do an album, maybe these songs will go viral on TikTok, and it didn't. It went certified double aluminum. It went triple plastic, okay? It went 4 times wood. Corey LeRae's album is garbino, garbage juice, okay? There's that Bong song, it had a good beat to it. The lyrics were questionable, but hey, whatever. But yeah, so Lotto is trending. She talked about Corey LeRae's father, Benzino, man, he just needs to just sit his old tail down. All right. I don't know what Benzino is doing, man. I swear I don't. All right. In other news, the Chiefs lost to the Lions. That was a total shock to me. All right. But they was missing their tight end. So, it happens. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion thought that they can hit lightning twice by doing our collaboration. Now they did that WAP. That was good. They decided to collaborate again on a new video and a new song called Bongai or Bongos. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. It's, hey, look, uh, the video is going to make a lot of views because look, let's just face facts and face reality. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion uh, uh, are good. They look good. All right. And the video is going to do crazy mad numbers because of their fan base. And the guys are going to, they're eye candy. Okay. I think the song itself, I listened to the song itself. Checked it out on iTunes. Uh, it's garbage, man. It's just hot garbage. All right. I'm not gonna say okay. Okay, let me peel it back some. It's not hot garbage, but that ain't it. Okay, that just ain't it. I don't care how many times Cardi B twerks in front of the camera. I don't care how many times Meg Thee Stallion does a TikTok video to the song. This song is not going to blow up like WAP. Okay, nice try. Okay, and that's pretty much it, folks. Okay, that is pretty much it for this podcast. I'm gonna really be honest with you guys. It was a light week this week. Okay, it wasn't a lot of stories other than the Chrisean Rock. And that Joe Budden story, it surfaced, but it wasn't doing no crazy number. Nobody wasn't too interested in it. The YK Osiris story, that was interesting, but other than that, it was a very, very light week. Wasn't a lot of stuff going on. I felt like it was a good time and a good opportunity. If you wanted to come out with something new, this would be the week because the last day of summer was last week, and this is starting to become the fall. I don't know if you guys have paid attention or not, but there are some parts of the world where it's cooling down a lot. Okay, like yesterday, all day it was like in the 70s, and I know a lot of people are gonna say 70. That's still hot, but considering what we had to deal with 2 or 3 weeks back, it was like 100 degrees. So I could deal with the temperatures at 70 than dealing with the temperatures at 100, like 90 or 100 degrees. Okay, it was just unbearable out there. Okay, but today it was kind of light. Well, yesterday was kind of light. It was cool. Today, like this morning, and the only people that's gonna know this around this time is my graveyard shift crew. Graveyard in the shift. I know. Graveyard crew, I know y'all wrapping things up. Y'all know y'all getting ready to go home. Hope you're listening, watching this live stream. Really do appreciate our crew. I also really do appreciate my early morning crew, the people that wake up and have to go to work or have to do something early on Saturday morning. I really do appreciate both of these audiences. Okay, y'all have been really showing me love and really showing me support. Okay. But anywho, yeah, if you go out today, it's like in the 60s. Right now, it's 60 and it's real pleasant, real cool. It's a good time to get your walk on or get your run on, even though it's 5, almost 6 o'clock. I mean, you can go to the gym, but anywho, yeah, so I think the weather is a lot better than it was a couple of weeks back when we was dealing with those 90 degrees, 100 degrees. And man, we was dealing with those wildfires in Maui and in California. We were just dealing with a lot of wildfires this summer because everything was drying up, and just dealing with a lot of stuff. Then we're dealing with these tropical storms. People that's dealing with the tropical storms and dealing with the wildfires. I hope y'all can come out and under from this situation I hope everyone's okay. Everyone's alive. Hope you didn't lose your house or lose your possessions. But if you do lose your house and you lose your possessions, you know, they're just possessions, okay? As long as you don't lose yourself in none of this stuff, you know, hey, God blessed you. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm going to have some content uploaded for my membership audience. And y'all are going to be, I got the video locked and loaded. And I got a video. I'm not going to talk about this video. I feel like this video is the ish. This video is the ish. Okay. So I can't wait to go into this video and talk about this video. I got a review, and man, y'all gonna like this review. And please subscribe to me on Instagram. Too early for this podcast on Instagram. That's where I give you guys the latest updates concerning the show, as well as any news that come out. I kind of like put it on my stories, and you guys can just look at my stories and check out those stories for yourself. But yeah, nevertheless, I'm the best. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I really do appreciate everyone checking out the show. We had like 5 people in the building. Before y'all go, can you do your boy a favor, please? Can you do your boy even a solid? All right. Please support your boy by hitting the notification bell, sharing this content with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Support your boy on support your boy through super chat, super sticker. Hit the join membership button. Membership has its privileges. Also support your boy with Cash App $. I'm Chris the Don 1. I really do appreciate everyone's support, either through hitting the like button, watching the live stream, commenting in the comment section, or donating. However you support, it's all a blessing. Okay, it's all a blessing. Okay. Just a random story. It's not no big popular story for you guys, but it's a story nevertheless you can learn a thing or two from it. So one of my colleagues lost his job a couple of days ago, and he lost his job because allegedly he was taking pictures of employees. Now, he thought it was innocent, and I'm pretty sure these women, he was taking pictures of these women and their dairy. I don't know, but I just think it's weird, and I just think, look, you shouldn't be reckless with your life. Okay, first and foremost, you should respect your female colleagues. All right, everyone deserves some form of privacy and respect. All right. And I don't think taking pictures of your colleagues demonstrates that. All right. And 2, don't be reckless with your career, because when it's all over and done with, I mean, just think about it. You don't worked like over 20 years, and there's a possibility that your 401k is gone, your benefits are gone, your years of experience is gone in an instant of you doing something dumb and immature and stupid. And now you got to start all over. I mean, when you was young in the game, it would have been easy for you to start all over. But now, you're a little bit older, and it ain't like you can, go to another job and make that same money you was making at your other job. And I'm pretty sure the new job is going to ask, well, why are you no longer working there? I mean, now you got to create a lie or whatnot, or just tell them the truth. Now, they could call your old job. I'm pretty sure the only thing your old job is going to say, yeah, he worked here, but they're not going to go into why you no longer work there no more. But I say all that to say this. People out there, be careful. Don't be reckless with your life. Don't jeopardize a good situation in your life when it's your career, your relationships, your reputation. It just ain't worth it. Sometimes people just need to think about what they're going to do. Like this bad behavior, you need to just pause for a second and say, yo, if this splash back on me, I'm going to lose everything. Maybe it's not worth it for me to do that. I just think, look, it's just a bad look. I mean, you just lost everything that you worked so hard for most of your life. And now it's just gone up in smoke. So, yeah, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. I mean, me and this guy, we didn't have the best working relationship. I didn't feel too kindly about him. I just think he was just not that great of a worker. But look, at the end of the day, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. For real, for real. Sometimes you gotta put your personal differences aside and look at this person as a human being and saying, hey, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. Okay, no matter if I love them or no matter if I hate them. I'm not saying I hate the guy, but I didn't feel too kindly about the guy. But hey, whatever. Okay, but you have to respect your workers, the female workers that are working in there, as well as the male workers. You just got to respect them. Okay, respect is respect. You just got to respect and don't be and be careful out there. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll probably be back next week with some more videos. If anything is popping, I will upload a video and talk about that. Be sure to check out Just My Opinion podcast. I've been videos for Just My Opinion podcast. I think I got one more video in the chamber that I'm going to crank out sometime this weekend. So go check out and support my sports channel on YouTube. It's Just My Opinion podcast. Also support my other YouTube channel. I'm Chrisean Rock TV. I did upload a video a couple of weeks ago, and it's time for me to upload another video over there. So your boy's been mad busy, man. I've been super, super mad busy. All right. Giving y'all what y'all need with this entertainment, expanding on 3 different YouTube channels. I have an Instagram that's too early for this podcast. I'm going to import some content there later on today. Subscribe to my Instagram. I'm going to have the link in the comment section, as well as my Cash App. Hit the Cash App. Have that in there as well. And yeah, your boy is up out of here. It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy, I'm Chrisean Rock. And like the boy always say, I'm out. I'll see y'all guys next Saturday with another rendition of Too Early for This podcast. Okay, I'm up out of here. When it gets to the 140 mark, we are out of here. I'm gone.